Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale video, and today I have something pretty interesting for you guys. Well, earlier I actually posted a bunch of map changes which I highly recommend going to check out because they do cover a bunch of map changes which I actually missed in yesterday's video. And if you haven't already checked out yesterday's one, I recommend checking out that as well to keep up to date with all the latest map changes. But we have a very subtle map change which has just happened today. Now this isn't permanent, this is something that happened in a game that I was playing with Commando Mace on the new aeroplane LTM, and this actually ended up being inside of kind of where Loot Lake is currently, and I wasn't too sure what it was. By the looks of it, it looks like some sort of symbol is lighting up from maybe this kind of like shield type structure. The symbol itself to me doesn't make any sense, and apparently the other symbols have already been leaked as well. But when I first look at this symbol, I think, what on earth is this? Like, I look on the map and I can't relate any location to this symbol. So leave a comment down below if you guys think this symbol does mean anything in the Fortnite storyline. It does kind of indicate potentially maybe where this portal could lead, or maybe once all of the symbols are like opened up or put together, or I don't know, like all appear and then put together, then potentially something could happen. Now, I personally don't suspect anything to happen this week regarding this location, because apparently people have been underneath. I showed it off in my previous map change video which I posted earlier on my channel. People have been underneath this section, and there is nothing underneath here other than a huge empty space and kind of like a metal structure going downwards. So I don't suspect anything to actually happen this week regarding the event. I feel like Epic are probably going to build it up, and then next week or even this week we may see these lights or symbols starting to be turned on each of these points. Once all the symbols have been turned on, then I suspect this hole will eventually open, or even these doors will open. I have talked about in the past how potentially these doors could teleport us to different locations, so I think that would be an interesting concept as well. So let me know in the comment section down below how you think this is going to play out. I personally do think it's going to have something related to the cube. With the cube fragments being completely removed from the Battle Royale map now, I do believe that this structure here will play some sort of part in the Fortnite Battle Royale storyline. So I'm hoping that potentially this location really could have a huge impact on the way the game is going to shape up for season 9. Hopefully, anyway. I hope it's not just a subtle map change. It's probably going to cause something pretty major. We've seen in the past, I guess the snowfall event which happened over there didn't really cause much to the actual Fortnite map itself. It called in a big snowstorm, and it didn't actually affect anything. What did affect the map was towards the end of the season, which was the earthquake. So maybe this isn't going to affect the map at all. Maybe this just could be generally the story behind Ruin, or it could be some sort of cube type element which appears again in the Fortnite storyline. I do think Fortnite will reintroduce something like that, and I guess this is where it's probably going to happen. I do believe potentially it could be the military. I talked about that in my previous map change video, so if you're interested in hearing a few theories about how the military could be called into Fortnite Battle Royale, go and check out that previous video. Okay, just as I was editing this video, I just noticed one thing while I was grabbing the thumbnail. I actually was kind of glitching out the replay, and I was just replaying it backwards and forwards, and the sign wasn't rendering in. And what I actually noticed was underneath, you can notice that the thing has actually lifted up slightly. Now, I wasn't 100% sure why this was the case, but right here, right now, these kind of shard type things lifted up slightly out of the ground by maybe a foot or two. I'm not 100% sure, but you can see I'm looking in and it looks like they lift themselves up. Now the ones on the other side didn't actually lift themselves up, these stayed down. And if you get the replay just right, you guys can make out exactly what happens here. Watch this, see if I can get it back so the thing doesn't render in. See if I can get it perfect. I don't know exactly what happened, it kind of unrendered. Let's see if we can just restart the render. There we are. Give it a second while it restarts. But what I'm actually thinking, you can see, is it going to work? Oh no, it's not going to work. Let me just see if I can fly away and then come back and see if I can get it to kind of render in a little bit. Because what happened, it despawned the render, and then obviously it re-rendered. So I think it was quite an interesting concept. So if I go over here and then go back over there, hopefully it's not rendered. Is it going to be the case? I think it may still be rendered. But basically what I'm saying is it lifted up, and potentially it could mean that someone has stood on a certain position in the map. So potentially these are all going to be lifted up by doing a certain challenge slash mission, or where you're standing on a certain item and it lifts up the section. I think that would be a cool concept, so we'll have to see where that's going to take us. Anyway, back to the video. Unfortunately, the week 8 loading screen was just simply the standard Ruin skin, so not until we get week 9 and week 10 we will probably not see anything regarding loading screens relating to the storyline. Obviously this is probably going to relate to Ruin. I feel like this potentially could be something to do with him it just seems daft not to be. Like, ruin has appeared, and maybe underneath here there is a huge fire type pit. Obviously, the further you go down underground, you get maybe to the core of the Fortnite universe, and obviously it's very hot down there, potentially where the lava is coming from, further or deeper down into the map. Like, 'cause, you know, with the past dig site, which was digged over here, we saw it get refilled with lava, which makes sense. But what's really interesting, it's kind of alienated the planet. When I say that, I mean, you know, the planet's been taken over maybe by some sort of race or alien form who have kind of like situated themselves in the core of the planet. So I think that's an interesting theory as well. A few people have been referring it to UFOs. I think the idea of a UFO is a little bit too far. I don't think we're going to see things flying around the map, but I do think the idea of a UFO being aliens does make perfect sense. So thank you everyone who's been commenting that down below in my comment section on the past 2 previous videos. But yes, a very interesting thing going on right here. I am pretty upset about the cube fragments. We don't know what happened to the cube fragments. We don't know if they got sucked into this or did the government remove them. I personally have a feeling the government may have removed them, but we can't 100% confirm it. They do have a few vans as well. You know, these vans are closed, so potentially, generally, the cube fragments could be in these lorries and vans. I do think potentially that could be the case. It is interesting how these are actually heading in, so we have still cars coming into this, so I definitely do think there are going to be a few more map changes regarding this situation. It definitely does look like it's on lockdown, so hopefully the government will reveal or find out what is going on here. We do know in the past the government haven't done a very good job at Dusty Divot. They took the L big time when the visitor did break out of, which you can't unfortunately see anymore, but when the visitor broke out of his kind of meteor shell, he got out of there and then he escaped. And I believe the visitor was some sort of alien race, and potentially that alien race which the visitor was could be the same race that is inside of here, which has ruin inside of. So that'd be an interesting concept. And I do also feel like it's like we are being kind of watched by someone else on the outside, and potentially that's who the visitor is, and the government are very worried about it. They feel like maybe an alien race out there in space is potentially watching us, and that's what this could be. That's only a theory though, guys. It's not 100% confirmed, so let me know in the comment section your theories. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to go and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go and check out my previous 2 map change videos, which I recommend checking out, which go over a bunch of map changes. It's really enjoyable, 2 good videos there, so go and check them out. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to go and use code postboxpat in the item shop. 2 minute postboxpat for shoutouts in future map change content and storyline content. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and once again, this is postboxpat signing out.